All right, popular question that happens, especially if you're somebody who is dealing with a fearful or reactive dog. And that question is, what do you actually do? Like in the moment when your dog loses it, like the barking, the lunging, the full chaos mode. What do you actually do? Tracy, give me the steps. What do we do? I need to know, what do we do? Because if you're somebody who has been constantly trying to fix that, this is the episode that might completely change how you handle those situations. Are you ready for it? I'm ready for it. Let's get into it. Ready to have a calm and peaceful life with your dog without the stress of those fear-based behaviors? Hi, I'm Tracy, and I've been there, overwhelmed by all the conflicting dog training advice and unsure of what to do next. But now I help dog lovers like you simplify your life with your dog by building confidence naturally, fostering trust, and addressing those fear-based challenges. So, if you're ready, stop chopping those chicken wieners and let's get to it. Hey there, friend. Listen, before we get into it today, I wanted to know, if you're someone who feels like your walks aren't enjoyable anymore, like you're constantly on edge, you're watching for other people's dogs and people or anything that might set your dog off. And maybe you've caught yourself, crossing the street to avoid somebody or turning around early just to keep things from escalating, avoiding going to places altogether. And then it happens anyway. Your dog loses it. They bark, they lunge, and you're sitting there thinking, what am I supposed to do now? Why does this keep happening? Like, why is it fine 1 minute and then completely out of control the next? And it's not just that moment. It starts to change how you feel about even going out. Walks feel tense, outings feel unpredictable, and over time, gosh, it gets exhausting. And if you're being really honest, these are the moments where you just don't fully trust your dog at all. And that's the piece that most people are missing. It's not that you need more commands. It's not that you need more training in that moment. But it is, in fact, knowing exactly what to handle and how to handle it when it's happening. And that's what we're going to get into inside the Fearless Framework. So you're not guessing, you're not freezing, you're not sitting there wondering, what the heck do I do? But you're walking with a plan. And if that's the piece that you've been missing, then I urge you to go and check out the Fearless Framework, my online 12-month program for dog lovers like you, to help you get the confidence that you need to be the person that your dog needs you to be in those moments. So head on over to beyondobedience.ca/fearless and get started today. I'll see you there. Well, hello, my dog-loving friend. It is Tracy. Welcome to Beyond Obedience, the podcast. Super duper welcome if you're brand new. If you are brand new, little applause for you, my brand new friend. Welcome to Beyond Obedience. I don't know how you made it here, how you stumbled across. Maybe the title of this episode caught your attention because you're somebody that's like, oh my gosh, that's me. My dog is constantly losing it. They're just losing it on their walks, and walks are no fun anymore. Or maybe someone sent you this way, or maybe, I don't know, maybe you've just come across this because you are sick and tired of all the drama that's going on. You don't know whether or not, you don't know what you're doing. You're like, I don't know. Am I supposed to use this tool? Am I not supposed to use this tool? What am I supposed to be doing? You're terrified because somebody somewhere is telling you you're doing it wrong, right? Am I right? If that is you, welcome. Welcome, my friend. Take a deep breath. Let's take a deep breath. Let's let all of that go, because I am here to tell you that you're not alone. You're not alone. You're not alone, my friend. If you are confused by all of the information out there and the, you shoulds and you shouldn'ts and you woulds and you wouldn'ts and you coulds and you couldn'ts, I don't know, the he said, she said, all the garbage gobbledygook that is the training industry right now for us dog lovers. It is a wild, wild west out there, and I get it. That's why I gave it up. That's That's why I walked away, friend. It's too much. It's too much. I have to admit, recently just saw a post. I try not to read the post. Okay, sidebar. I quit all of the associations. Like, I quit them all. I was just like, I can't even. I had one that I liked. I liked them because they were very inclusive. They talked about this idea of, of embracing all kinds of, histories and backstories and embracing everybody for, what they've learned and who they are and all that stuff. And that even got to be too political and icky. So, I quit it all, but I'm still on I'm still in the algorithm or whatever. Anyway, this post came up and it was, the typical, the conference that's coming up for that particular association. And, long and short of it is there was a really incredible trainer, one that I respect. I've listened to her. I've heard her on other podcasts. She's absolutely brilliant and amazing and all of the things. And anyway, she's had to decline speaking at one of the events because the other, let's say, side of the dog training industry has bullied her about her choices to speak and I was like, I can't even with you people. I can't even. So all of this to say, if you've ever been sucked into that trap of the fight that has nothing to do with you, by the way, friend, I just want you to know it has nothing to do with you. And oddly enough, it has nothing to do with dogs. That's the fun part. It has nothing to do with you or dogs. So if you feel like you've just been tossed around in an old washing machine, I say that as I have one of those old washing machines. The one that you have to literally hold it when it goes into the spin cycle. Otherwise it shimmies across your room. If you feel like you've been in a part of that and you're just coming out of that going, I don't even know where to go now. You're in the right place. That's where I'm going with this. You're in the right place. You and me both, and we're here to sort of make things easy, make things simple. And how do we do that? You say, how do we do that? I'm glad you asked. The main thing here over in Beyond Obedience is we really put our focus in asking the dog. That's it. Asking the dog. And then taking a moment to listen to said dog. And I think what you're going to find is once you start to let go of all the outside noise and you really just sort of lean in and focus on your dog and be like, what are you trying to tell me? What are the things you're telling me? You are going to get so much clarity. You're going to get so much clarity around all of this because all of a sudden all the other stuff just sort of melts away and you're like, you know what? My dog has been telling me all along what they need. My dog. So that's what we're all about here at Beyond Obedience. I always like to point out, I'm not against obedience. We are beyond obedience, okay? I'm not anti-obedience. Obedience is great if you like that sort of thing. But if you don't, your whole life doesn't revolve around obedience, okay? So that's all. All right, enough of that, Tracy. We're a million minutes into this. You haven't even talked about what you want to talk about. This is okay. You're here for a good year. You're here for a good one, my friend. If this is your first episode, it's a good one because if you're somebody that has been struggling with the walk, let's say, you're doing all the things and you've tried all the distractions and you've tried giving space and you've done all the things and then it doesn't matter because a dog comes out of nowhere or the trigger comes out of nowhere. And all of a sudden, your dog goes from 0 to 1,000,000 in a split second. And now you've got the lunging crazy dog. And you're like, what do I do? What do I do in this moment? And it's probably one of the most common questions that I get. Right? What do you do when your dog loses it? The barking, the lunging, the spinning, the full banana beads mode. What do we do? Because most people in that moment are like, what do I need to do to fix this? And that's not it, my friend. That's not it. Okay. Because if your dog, I think I mentioned this in a recent episode, if your dog has lost it and they are like full banana beans, like they're just losing their mind, this isn't when we fix it. You're not going to fix it. Come on. You're not going to fix it. You know you're not going to fix it. I literally just saw a video of somebody trying to do the typical, like putting the dog behind them and standing in front of them and blocking them. And it looked like they were doing this like karate dance kind of thing. Like they're holding the leash back and they're, side and side and side and side and trying, and the dog's going around them. And I'm like, what is that? Like, we've all done it, by the way. I'm putting my hand up because I did that too. Right. Like, oh, you don't know. So you're just like, you're just in full-fledged, like, oh, I gotta move you back. And it's like that whole, like, I'm trying to get you to pay attention to me. And your dog is like, get out of my way. I can't see the thing that I'm trying to react to. And it just creates this crazy dance, like this crazy reactivity dance. You know the dance I'm talking about. And the bottom line is, you've missed it, friend. Like, you've missed it. That's just it. You've missed it. And as much as I, would love to say, oh, here's the trick, the thing they do, there's some training techniques that are out there that, can punish the behavior or try to, get on top of the behavior, cap the behavior before it escalates, all that stuff. The bottom line is you missed it. You missed it. That's okay. Happens. But I think the very first step, if we're going to be talking about what do you actually need to do, is you need to define what missed it means. That's your first step. Okay? Because by the time that your dog's doing all that, in my opinion, you've missed it. And that's not judgment, that's just information. But missed it looks like your dog is no longer thinking, right? If you've taken my doganality quiz and, I talk about right brain and left brain, the left brain is the thinking brain. The right brain is the instinctual brain. They have snapped over into their instinctual brain, right? They're not thinking. They're not thinking. And there you are trying to influence their thinking brain. They're not using that side of their brain. And I know before anybody comes in my comments and be like, that's not how the brain works, Tracy. It's not left or right. I know. It's just for simplicity's sake. The point is they're not able to access that part of the brain because they've snapped over into instinctual. They can't think. They can't hear you. And when that happens, my friend, this is not a training moment. That's just it. That should give you a little bit of relief. You should be able to go, oh, it's not a training moment. This isn't a training moment. I can't fix this in this moment. That should give you a bit of relief, right? It's not a training moment, friend. So just let go of that thought. Just like release it into the wind. There it goes. Oh, it's freedom. Like you can actually feel yourself getting lighter now. You're like, oh, I don't have to worry about that. So what is it? It's management mode. Wah, wah. It's management mode. I know, but let's boo that. Oh. It's management mode. And that's what we got to do. So that's actually what you need to be thinking about right now. What is management mode look like? We're not asking how do we fix it. You're going to ask yourself, what is my plan when this happens? Okay. And here it is. Are you ready? Here it is. Here's the moment. Wish I had like a drum roll. You get out. What? Yeah. You just gotta get out. Get out of it. Right? Don't stand in it. Don't try to stand in front of the dog. If you've been following me and you're like, yeah, you've heard me say that whole thing about, put the dog behind you so that you can be a part of the conversation. There's no conversation to be had if you've missed it. You've missed it. So don't try to put the dog behind you. Don't stand in front of them. Don't try to get their attention. Don't try to say obedience commands. Don't do any of that. And as a matter of fact, my whole thing is don't stay there. Get out. That's it. Get out. Turn. Walk away. Walk away. And I mean, walk away in a good pace, a good clip. Now some of you are going to be like, my dog is big and all of that stuff. And I get all of that. And a lot of that is that unfortunately is an equipment discussion, which if you want to talk equipment with me, please come join me in the student community. That is where we will talk equipment, because equipment isn't a one size fits all. Equipment isn't bad, by the way. There's no bad equipment. I have all the equipment. I just use it for different purposes, but it is a tool. It is meant to amplify or increase my leverage if I need it. It's not innately evil. Okay, so get that out of your head, especially when you're hearing all the garbage out there. All equipment can be used improperly. All pieces of equipment can be used improperly. So let's just let that one go too. Into the wind. I don't know why I'm making that sound effect today. It's just obviously on my heart to do so. I just got to release things into the wind. Okay. So if your first thing is, I can't physically move my dog is 190 pounds and I'm only 110 pounds and there isn't any way, then we need to have a conversation about equipment and leverage and all of that stuff. Because this is what I want you. I want you to get out. I want you to get out, turn, walk away, create space, leave quickly and clearly with intention, meaning like we're just going this way now, and not in a frantic way, but in a literal about face turn, we're walking away. About face turn, we're walking away. Okay. And the reason for that is because you're not going to work on the reactivity. Because here's what happens. Let's talk about what happens. Because, every time I watch people that have a reactive dog and the dog's popping off and they're trying to fix it and they're saying things and they're doing all this stuff and they're trying to get the dog under control. And the other, the other dog, the other person, whatever, the trigger is walking as well. And they walk past, the trigger left, the dog thinks their reactivity was helpful in the trigger leaving, right? It doesn't prove anything to the dog. It doesn't make them go oh yeah, I see what happened. It doesn't work, right? The only time that if you're going to work on reactivity, you need to actually plan to work on it. You need to find a good dog, a non-reactive good dog. You need to start there and you need to work on it, with space. But the dog, the trigger, doesn't leave. That's the important thing. If you're actually going to quote unquote work on it, this is one of the other reasons why you can't work on it, because most cases those triggers leave. They're walking. And if your dog is acting a fool, they're probably walking pretty quickly, being like, I got to get the heck out of there. That dog's crazy, right? So the trigger leaves. So we're not actually working on it. So I want you to turn, walk away, create space, leave quickly and clearly, not panicked, not emotional, just decisive, just oops. And I know that's hard. There's the embarrassment, the shame, and all the and all of you'll drudge up all of your past things, and you'll pull up all of the stuff in your head, oh man, he was doing so well yesterday, and why today are you being like this? And blah, blah, blah. Just walk away. Just be like, oh, that didn't work, right? Make it a decision that you've made. Okay? Because a common mistake that I see is people are trying to make the dog sit, which is awful. Don't do that. Oh, she says that she has a deep sigh. I really want, especially for people that are dealing with big emotions with dogs, very big emotions with dogs. If you are someone who is interested in building trust with a dog, you need to understand what their body position communicates to others, to the world around them. This is why I get so amped up about this, because when I see people going sit, 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 I'm like, putting a dog in a sit while they are nervous, scared, whatever, makes them vulnerable. It makes it worse. And yet, like, people are just like waving cookies in their face and telling dogs to sit and all of that. And all of that just screams to me, from the dog's perspective, you don't get me. You don't get what's going on here. If you're waving a cookie in my face, you do not get me. Because if you understood what was going on in my little body in this moment, you would understand I don't want to sit. I can't sit. If you're terrified and your body is going into fight or flight mode, nowhere in that survival is there a sit mode. Sure, there's freeze. Okay, someone's going to argue and be like, what about freeze? But probably you wouldn't freeze in a seated position. You know what I'm saying? Your body is going to be geared for survival, and sit ain't it. Nowhere in their repertoire of survival tactics does sit come into play. So stop telling your dog to sit and take food from you when they're having an emotional response to a trigger. Please and thank you. Understand. And if you want to know more about that, because everyone talks about body language, like stress signals and what the dog's body is doing, but nobody thinks about the big picture. What does their body language signal to others around them? How does their body language make them vulnerable or less vulnerable? We don't think about that. We just keep putting them into stupid commands. It just makes me crazy. Oh my gosh, I got on a soapbox. I gotta slap myself off that. Hold on. Ow! Oh, sorry. Apologies. But it is one of my, it's the thing that bothers me the most. It's really the thing that bothers me the most. I was actually driving home the other day, and not that they did anything wrong, but there's so many missed opportunities. I saw a couple of ladies, because yesterday was beautiful. Oh, it was so nice yesterday. And so everybody was out with their dogs and stuff, which I love to see. But there were two ladies, and they had like this adorable little pup. Like, it was young. It was just a young pup. And they had come down from their little subdivision road, which was probably pretty quiet and whatnot. And they were just turning onto the highway, of all things. And so, of course, there's like cars and everything flipping past. And I saw this puppy literally do the whole, like, what am I looking at? And they did the typical thing where, because the dog had stopped, they looked and they sat and they stared at it. And then they just kind of kept trying to coax them along. And I immediately thought, oh, that's a missed moment. Like, that's a missed moment. That would have been a great moment to just go back with the dog and just maybe kneel down and be like, what are we looking at? Like, let's look at it together. Like, to partner up with them in that moment of fear. Oh, so powerful. So powerful, especially for a puppy, because now they know, like, okay, you saw that I was upset and you're here with me, and we're going to watch it. We're just going to watch the traffic, and we're going to be like, okay, this is cool. Like, and then when the puppy starts to relax, then we say, can you move with me? They're going to be more apt to move with you. But if you force them along, trust broken. Wow. Okay. Don't get me wrong. It's not like I'm saying they ruined their puppy. I'm just saying it depends on the puppy. What am I even talking about today? This went off the rails today. This went off the rails. So anyway, my point is, I see people trying to like put the dog into a sit or put them into a position or talk them through it. They can't hear you. Newsflash. They can't hear you. They can't hear you. They're not available for conversation right now. Like, they just aren't. Okay. So this is where I like to tell people about it's actually inside the Fearless Framework. And it's something that I like to call the Build Your Brave protocols. And part of the Build Your Brave protocols is your exit strategy. You need to have an exit strategy. What does that look like for you? Because and for every person, it's different. That's why I can't say to you, these are the exact tools to do. For every person, it's different. It's going to depend on the type of dog that you have. Right? Like, if you have a very tiny little dog, they're hard because they can, like, run around and go through your legs and all that stuff. If you've got like a medium-sized dog, maybe this just means a little bit, you might have to do a little bit of a shoulder, like a shoulder bump or something, just to get them to turn and move. But whatever that is, I help walk you through that. I can walk you through that. We do the whole thing together, but you need to have an exit strategy. And your exit strategy is simply just this. We just get out of here. We're going to get out of here. We're not going to be emotional about it. We're just going to get out of here. Oops, I lost it. No big deal. We're going to get out of here. Once we're out, then we come back to it and we take a deep breath. That's the first thing you do after. Like, you get out, you get that space, the trigger goes away, you do whatever. You're going to take a deep breath and you get your dog to just kind of settle in with you. Now, if you've been following me for a while or you're in my programs, and you've been doing your be withs and all of those sort of things, and sort of regulating and connecting with your dog in that space, breathing and taking that deep breath could be a way to connect with the dog, to get back into sync with the dog. And once you're there, you'll see it. Trust me, you'll see it. You'll see their eyes, because when they're reacting, their pupils just dilate. Right? That's all the adrenaline and all the stuff going through, their pupils dilate. When they come back to you, you'll see their pupils come back, and it's almost like the dog comes back and goes, "Oh, hi." I don't know where I was, but you're here. And that's when we can connect with them. That's that moment where we can be like, "Yes, hello, welcome back. Welcome back, friend." Right? We take a deep breath and then we ask them to do something. And this is usually where I'll use my hand gestures and not commands, where I'll be like, "Can you follow me this way?" And it's just a check. It's like, are we connected again? Can we connect again? And I might do a little bit of movement and whatnot to kind of get that anxiety and stuff just working out of them. And maybe I'll get them to get up on something or down on something, depends on the dog, but it's all part of the exit strategy and then recovery. And recovery is just about connection. Because you lost the dog, right? In that moment, your connection was lost. Can we get that back? People are more concerned about, how do I correct the dog, fix the behavior, whatnot. You're not even focused on the right thing. You lost your connection with the dog. So let's get that back. And what I love about that too is once you get that back, once you get that feeling, you're like, "Hi, we're back. Okay, let's do some stuff." Now we're both shaking off the experience. Now we're both going to feel better about whatever. You can actually, I have it with the Jack Russell all the time. She pops off and we take her out and we're like, "Here's a log and find some stuff and dig around." And then we get all excited about the things that she's doing. And trust me, she's long since forgotten about that thing that happened 10, 20 minutes ago. Okay. So it's not just, "Oh yeah, I'll leave if something happens." No, what does that actually look like for you? I want you to think about, what does that actually look like? Where are you going to go? How are you moving? What is your plan? And you have to have some fail-safe plans. Like, what if I don't have the space to move? What am I going to do then? I would say to you though, friend, because we're friends now, I would say to you, if you're a person that is still working with your dog and trying to sort of build a relationship and getting the trust and all that stuff, and you're not quite there yet, I would avoid places where there's no exit strategy, right? Where there's no place for you to go. Don't go in tight, narrow trails where you can't get out of the way. Don't do that. Make sure you have an exit strategy. What do we do if we miss it? Okay. And I want you to think about, what is that going to look like? And as I say, it's got to be non-emotional. It's not going to be, let me just say this. It doesn't feel like running away. It shouldn't feel like running away. It should be like, we're moving into our exit strategy. Like plan B, exit strategy, boom, engage, that kind of thing. Not like, "Oh gosh, we got to go." Like, I want you to have the confidence to be like, this is something I planned out. Because leaving is not failure. Leaving is the plan. This is your get the heck out of Dodge strategy. That's what this is. Because honestly, it's one of the most underutilized parts of my program, if I'm being honest. Winky face to my students in the Fearless Framework. You know I love you. You know I love you. However, it is the most underutilized part of the program because people aren't first of all, you're not taking advantage of me. Like, strategist extraordinaire when it comes to how to do this thing, right? I'll build it with you. I will. If you're part of my program, friend, we are now besties in this together. I'll build it with you. We'll build it together. People kind of brush past it like, yeah, I'll just get out of there. But when they're in it, they're freezing, they're panicking, they're trying random things. They're like, this isn't working, because they never actually decided what it's going to look like. And here's the piece that matters just as much is, what does it feel like when you leave? Because if you're leaving with guilt, frustration, embarrassment, your dog feels that. But if you leave like, nope, that didn't work out and we're out, that's leadership. That's leadership. Okay? So instead of, ugh, here we go again, try how interesting. You know, I love how interesting. Because you have to be what you want your dog to be. Remember that. You have to be what you want the dog to be. And the way that you do that is through the plan, is through the exit strategy. It's through the build your brave protocols. So if your dog's chaotic and you become chaotic, who's leading who? Who's leading who, friend? I don't know. Because I want you to remember this. Write it down on a sticky note. You are not working on reactivity in the moment of reactivity. So stop trying to fix the explosion and start getting better at recognizing it earlier. That actually is your goal. And that's part of the whole plan that we do. Everything that we work on inside the program is getting to know your dog, seeing the subtle little changes, the shifts, the signs. Your dog recognizing that you see them, you feel them, you understand them. Your dog, instead of going, oh my gosh, that thing up there is freaking me out, will start and look at you. Do you see that thing over there? And you say, yeah, I've got it, buddy, but it's okay. I've got you. Let's go. Right? That will start to happen to you. You'll start to recognize things earlier. But in this messy middle, you need to have an exit strategy. You need to have a plan. Okay? Because that's where everything starts to change. So, friend, if you're realizing you don't have a plan or you want a bestie to build it with you, come on over. Come to the Fearless Framework. I'm telling you, it's 12 months. That won't last forever. I'm going to tell you that right now. I'm going to tell my podcast listeners this right now. I have been told over and over and over again that the program is not priced properly and the length of time is too much, and that I have to start shifting that. So if I were you, I would jump on this today because it is changing. It's changing. So if you're interested in that, come over to beyondobedience.ca/fearless. Come over there. If you are thinking, I just like hanging out with Tracy, listening to the podcast, and I want to hang out with her some more, come over to the free Facebook group, Living Beyond Obedience. That is a fun place to hang out. We're hanging out there as well. And as always, my dog-loving friend, get out there today, and be the person that your dog thinks you are. Because your dog thinks that you are amazing. And friend, hear me when I say this. So do I. So do I. So thanks for being here, and I will see you in the next episode. Bye for now. Oh, and one more thing. This podcast is meant for entertainment and education purposes only. It is not meant to replace hands-on professional training. If you are struggling with dangerous behavior with your dog, please reach out to a professional in your area. All right, I think that's it. Bye for now.